the last thing we need to talk about in this chapter is the idea of imperatives. And this word imperative comes from the Latin word, because what word doesn't? Impero imperare, which means to rule or command. So it originally starts out as a verb. And this is also where we get the Latin word imperator, which essentially was the Roman title given to the emperor. Okay, so you can see it sort of there, imperator, emperor, in English. So imperator originally started out as a military term, but eventually came to be just the title that was given to the Caesars, because they were the ones who ruled and command. They were the ultimate commanders. So what this looks like and what this is in English, we've been mostly dealing with indicative verbs up to this point. So this might be the idea of saying you think, or we save, right? And those are just indicating facts. You think, you're thinking about something, or we save something. But the imperative is that we're actually giving that as a command. So instead of you think, you just need to tell someone, think. And the same thing with we save. That's just indicating fact. If you want to command someone to do it, say save, right? And that's bit by itself. Instead of saying like, you should all turn in your papers, I could say turn in your papers, or turn off your phones. Something like that. And that's really what the imperative mood's all about. So let's just get into the notes. I don't want this to be too long, but the imperative mood, or just what I'll usually probably call it is the imperative, is used for giving commands. Okay, and we should be at least somewhat familiar with two imperatives already, salve and vale, right, are words for hello and goodbye. So these are actually command forms. You're commanding someone in both senses to essentially be well. Okay, now forming the imperative is actually pretty simple, and there are two forms. One is for commands to one person. So if you're just giving a command to one person, that would be your second person singular. And then there's one for more than one person. Right, so more than one, so two or more people. And that would be second person singular. So you can have just for one person by themselves, or you're going to command more than one person. And it always has to be second person, because to give a command, that person has to be there and be a part of that conversation, right? You can't command someone in the third person. So forming the imperative, super easy. The first thing you do is you take your stem, right? And remember that that's the infinitive minus the re, the stem. And that's all you do to form your second person singular. So an example there from laudo, laudare, if we added that re back in, you get your infinitive. But that by itself, lauda, just means praise, right? And then if you want to form the plural command, if you want to command more than one person, all you do is you add a te to the end of your stem. So we had lauda here, and then all we do is we make it laudate to make it commands for more than one person. And that's about it for the imperative. Let's go through at least just this one practice here. So form the imperative of the following verbs and translate them. Also translate the commands. So amo, amare, right? Well, to get our stem, get rid of the re. So our second person singular is ama. And that's it. Love. And then our plural, we take our same stem and we add te. And that's it. Okay, that's it for the imperative. Try the rest of these practices on this note sheet. The biggest thing is to make sure that we keep in mind that we're going to see these different types of verbs. We're going to see these two different moods. So you're going to have indicative verb like you think, and we're going to have it as cogitas, and you're going to have to form that. And you're also going to have to form the imperative form of think, which would be from cogitare, just cogitare. ta, right? And those are both forms. It's just the imperative form doesn't have an ending that we're used to. It doesn't have any ending. It either has just the A there, or it's going to have a TE at the end. One of the two. So that's an important thing to keep in mind, but really you should be able to recognize these through practice, and usually, at least for a while, there's an exclamation mark almost every time that you translate these. So we'll be practicing with these, and this sort of wraps it up for chapter 1 as far as dealing with anything that we have with verbs, and we'll keep moving on.